How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. Getting straight into it. No time for an intro once again today. I'm joined by this fellow over here, Destined. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me. And this is right up my alley once again. I feel like every time I'm on here, it's always so up my alley. So
yeah, it's almost like I pick my guests to shine at what they're best at. This is what a crazy coincidence.
Wow, that's insane.
Big brain. So R-Type and I have prepared, and huge thank you to R-Type. He made this beautiful PowerPoint. I got all the resources from the amazing Leak Boys. We had a group chat going, but you know, Destined and the Leaker's Lair, so Rakanchi, Panther, Oressus, and T, they help in amazing ways, letting us all know what is coming. And this is a lot of the stuff you've known about for a while. Some of it's newer, some of it's older, doesn't really matter, but basically, you know, you can see some of it. We're not going to talk about people like Jira or your Merit that already basically confirmed in game that I have on test server, people have. But there are many characters in the game we've never even seen before. We don't know anything about. You know, some of them might completely change. Some of them might be pretty well cooked, prepared in the oven. We're going to go through literally every single unit that we know at all might be coming. Some of them are absolutely wild. Some of them are pretty forgettable. But I think we just do like a quick hits. It's all in one place, kind of showing off the work of Destined's Leaker's Lair and the Leak Boys. Check out those links in the description. I'll have a link to his Discord. And what do you say? Should we just get into this? Anything you want to add?
Let's just get right into it, because there's a lot to cover. There's like 8
characters.
A lot or something.
And I do want to say one of the characters is absolute. I mean, a lot of the characters are fantastic, but one of them is absolutely mind-blowing. You'll probably need to go to the bathroom, change your pants, something like that. We're calling her Celestial Modder. We did a full 30-minute. We'll see how much you can edit it down to. Deep dive, losing our mind over maybe the new best hero in the game. That's on Destined's channel. We're going to quickly cover her here and make sure we don't leave you hanging. But if you want that real lunacy and the real, you know, word-by-word deep dive, definitely go check that out. So let's start with Sanja. What do you say?
Yeah, sure. So Sanja, or Sanja, however you say it, I don't think there's a correct way to say
I don't know.
it doesn't matter. Call her what you want to call her. She's been in the files fully completed for like 6 months now or something. And she hasn't been released, which is so strange. And I don't know why.
Interesting. Yeah, worth mentioning. So this is, we redid some of the interface here, the presentation. R-Type did a beautiful illustrations.
Yeah,
if you look at the bottom right, it's amazing stuff. But if you look at the bottom right, this is straight from Panther. This is a really cool thing Panther does. Like when all the Leak Boys aggregate stuff, he makes a little release-ready scale. And you won't see many 10 out of 10s, I'll tell you. Sanja claims that. I'll just go through real quick. You know, 1s, 2s. We actually R-Type and I ordered it in order of readiness. But this is our 1 10 out of 10. She's ready to go, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
So being 10 out of 10 basically means like we know everything. We know the skills. We know what it's like with promotions. We have character models. We know the animations. We know the name is correct, which you were saying is like pretty late on. So people see a lot of these names are pretty silly. We just like made them up, or Panther made them up.
Yeah, Panther's a little insane.
So let's just go through. We're gonna quickly through. This will be the arc, the model we follow with each character. We'll go through with base stats if we add them. We'll quickly hit the skills, and then we'll give impressions. So, starting here, crazy high HP, 13.6 on a single target marksman.
That's ridiculous. On average, it's usually like 10k or so for a marksman.
This is monstrous. And I'll also tell you, 4291, 4,200, almost 4,300 at base attack of single. That is crazy. I think the highest in the game is Yovar at like 4,200. So she's almost at 43. She's that good. I'm thinking she's going to be an absolute BP monster.
Oh, for a marksman, absolutely. Like, Silas is at 3,700 or something, I think.
Well, and Silas is, like, one of my top BP heroes, and, like, if you're
he's,
into
like,
GVG...
top 5 non-ancient exclusive. Maybe even, like, top 3 for BP.
Yeah, and she's going to be higher than him. I mean, let's look at this. Defense, 1093 is super high.
It's so weird that it's so high.
It is weird. And the magic res, pretty solid. I mean, it's not that high, but 1026 is not bad.
For a marksman, that's high.
For a marksman, it's good. 1093 is really high for defense. She's got that typical single target attack and roll at 2.0. Everything else is very typical. I'll say she's on the higher range of a Ragegen auto at 14, and then the cost is funky, don't you think?
Yeah, I was about to say, the cost is weird, because most of the characters that are kind of formatted like this are about 12. So there's either 12 or there's around 22.
It's usually 12 and 22. I will say Yovar. Isn't Yovar 16 as well?
I think Yovar is 16, yes.
Yeah, so I think they're viewing her in this light. We're like, yeah, Yovar's single target, but it's just such a crazy, splashy flurry And she does have things where she can be hitting people outside range and hitting extra shots. And I think she's going to be insanely strong. So maybe that's the thinking with the 16 cost. You want to tell me about the talent here?
Sure. So the talent is the basic attack has about a 45% chance to release piercing precision instead. So essentially 45% of your basic attacks are going to be a different basic attack. And piercing precision, which is the other basic attack, is rapidly attacks 2 enemies in range, 1 time respectively with 2 weapons, spelled wrong, shout out to Panther, each dealing 180% damage, and will be reduced to 120% damage when there's only 1 enemy in range. So essentially, she's doing 2 attacks to 2 different enemies, so it's essentially a multi-shot, and about 50% of her basic attacks almost are going to be that type of, extra damage. But if there's only like a single target type deal, she's going to do less damage.
To make it perfectly clear, people, she's always going to do the 2 attacks. If there's 2 enemies in range, they're each taking 180. It is still better in terms of raw damage for per enemy. If there's 1, it's 2 hits, 120 per hit. Maybe this already is why she's high cost, right? Half the time, nearly, 9 out of 20 times, she is going to have an insanely strong basic attack.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's the thinking already with the 16. But you can see this is her normal basic attack over here. It's a physical piercing attack, dealing 120% damage to 1 enemy 1 time. She prioritizes airborne units. Very typical of your single target marksmans, especially if they're piercer. You can see she's arbiter and piercer. So I think without a doubt she's ancient exclusive, right?
100%. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I'll go to the ultimate now. Seal of Retribution, very cool. She's definitely going for this like sisterly nun aesthetic thing, but she's badass. Marks 1 enemy with the highest max HP in range for 15 seconds. Triggers piercing precision during the ultimate. Marked targets deal 80% less damage to the hero and receives 25% more damage from the hero. So she's basically not taking anything from whom she marks, and she's dealing a lot more damage. These marks will play into her passives as well. Do you think this is it's going to be exactly how it reads? The marked target is only less damage to her, not to all your allies?
Judging by her aesthetic, where it's more of like an assassin type thing, I think that's definitely possible. It would be better if it was any damage to her would be less, but I do think it is probably just that 1 marked target from what I'm reading.
Yeah. And, well, and then I was wondering, does the marked target it's only to her, or could it be to her and her allies? Because then she'd be a GB2 absolute monster. But I don't think
that would be balanced, and I don't think they want to do that.
You don't think that would be balanced? Everyone takes
No,
only
I think that would be
damage?
ridiculous for a lot of content.
Her first passive here, Chasing Shadow. If there are enemies in the range marked by the hero's basic attack and piercing precision can land extra hits regardless of the attack range. So she's, I believe, the first hero that's getting this Idril treatment. It's a weird condition, but she can start hitting people. If they're marked, she can hit them wherever they are. So she's got that normal 3x4 single target marksman range. Each weapon used deals 160% damage 1 time to all marked targets. What do you think that means, each weapon used? She dual wielding?
Yeah, she's dual wielding. She has two crossbows that she's holding. You can't really see her full design in the image.
Interesting. So I guess my thinking, and I want to hear this, and we won't spend this much time on every hero, guys, but she's like our only completely fully cooked hero. Yep. I know you've known about her for literally forever. Destined.
Way too long.
Basically, I'm thinking like there's like a main boss kind of thing. She marks that, and then she can like slowly, whenever she ults, start marking more and more heroes. So this is like slowly building into like a real multi-target kind of thing. Is that what you'd say?
I think that's a good call out there, and she'll be kind of reminiscent to Idril in a way, just not the same. Which is pretty cool, considering she'll be like one of 3 that can do that. Other one being Praetus with his hammer thing.
Sanja's gonna join the ranks of like Idril, who like that's like the crazy super unique thing that makes her so OP, and then the best hero in the game, Praetus. So pretty cool stuff. The extra hits can be triggered even when there's no enemy in basic attack range. So then she can just start hitting people even when there's literally no one in her normal range. Then finally, Atoning Surge. If a marked target dies with the mark, restores 35% rage and increases attack by 35%. That's going to be post-deployment, so it'll be a ton. Remember, she's got really high base attack for a marksman. Can be triggered 1 time every 20 seconds. The 35% rage restoration is nice, because now she's getting back to another ult, right, Destin? And she can start marking new heroes, new enemies.
The only condition that makes that seem a little worse is it's only every 20 seconds, which is a pretty long time in this game. So, like, it's good, but it doesn't stand out, especially because if she's marking a couple targets, she's only ever going to get it once.
Yeah, that's a great point. Then she's got a very typical, these arbiters and these chaotic units always have an arena mastery, 15% damage in arena. I mean, she could be like very good in, anti-air. I don't know if she's going to be a total superstar, but she definitely should be strong.
You should be better than Idril for anti-air, that's for sure.
Well, that's
I think
for sure,
the current meta where Nyx is like OP as hell, I think she won't be as good, but it depends how the meta will shake up in the future. With
Absolutely.
the new
and who knows what people will discover with her when we see the actual, when she's on a test server, when she comes to global, she comes to Forerunner, we see actual practical applications.
Absolutely.
Let's very quickly do the awakenings here. Chasing Shadow deals 10% extra damage to targets for each stack of Radiant Erosion, so that's a very nice synergy on the, like, with her Arbiter faction membership.
Yep.
Chasing Shadow being that first passive, I just wanted to check that. Awaken 2, totally standard, plus 300 base attack. But keep in mind, she already has sky-high base attack, so now she's, if you get her an A2, that's, like, just 4,500 is insane, almost 4,600 for Marksman. A3, when dealing piercing precision, hits the target. There's a 20% chance to mark the enemy. That's enormous.
That's really good for her kit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because then she's able to attack like a bunch of enemies outside of her range.
She can be putting on marks way more quickly than being reliant on the ultimate. That's huge.
That's
then A2, the attack rage +2. So whenever she does a hit, the base number, which we do have here, is 10. It's going to go up to 12. That's what rage regen percentage is going to scale off of. The hit rage and the attack rage. That's excellent. A5, when piercing precision deals damage to different targets, increases damage dealt to each target to 240%.
This is really good.
There can be some whales having fun.
Yep. So essentially, you know, if there's multiple heroes she's attacking, she's gonna do like double the damage.
Yeah, that's lunacy.
That's so dumb.
So I will say gut check, and then I want to hear what you have to say. Well, then we're gonna speed up a lot now, but I would say she's definitely great. Is she amazing? We'll have to see. That's my gut check.
I'm with you on that. I think she's still going to be below Sargak, Silas for anti-air, you know, stuff like that. She's not going to shake it up that much, but she will definitely be a very good option and definitely worth using.
I could see her being for GBG defense could be a real monster too, and also
for sure.
Just for general affiliation. So there'll be some really nice like end game stuff people will like. And then I think if you're going to start snagging these awakenings, if you're a big lucky boy or a big Kraken, boy oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Khari, we can go pretty quick here, huh?
Yeah, I think Khari, if I'm not mistaken, isn't she on Forerunner? I'm not 100% sure.
I think she might be.
I don't fully remember. I know there's
maybe
a
with a
couple
different
rares
picture
that look pretty similar because they're all pretty
The one you're
bland.
thinking of, that's not her. At least the image. I think she's slightly different, but this is a good example of like, this character could never come or will just be fusion fodder. Like, we don't know.
I think she will be fusion fodder, honestly.
I think they're going to only add rares that are fusion fodder. They don't care about balance in this game when it comes to rarities, right?
No. As long as they add better epics, I don't care because they're so easy to get. Like, Raid has to do rares, for example, because there is no other options for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But this game, you get a...
Yeah, so very quickly going to the stats. Basement HP at 6597 for a support. Attack, no good. 2460. She's a rare, guys. There's nothing special here. 16 cost. This is the same as Camille. She's like standard healer. Everything's saying the right things. 3.0 attack rate. Interval, there you go. So she's doing... her rage on her ultimate is very low. It's 200, which is a little higher than Lightlock at 120. So maybe she could be a battery. Lightlock with skill ups actually is 100, but yeah, that's an interesting thought, battery option. But to be fair, Lightlock is free, so
yeah, that's also fair. So he still sucks.
We can say definitely this will fill out to 3x4. Like one of the last things we were talking about, but that comes as we get more information from the League Boys is like what happens at promotions. But this will fill out, I think, to 3x4. So like Nasandai, Lightlock, Carnelian. Restores HP equal to 60% of attack, so she's attack-based, whatever. Healing Light, auto-cast grants powerful treatment that restores HP equal to 170 attacks, so it must be 170% for the ally with the lowest HP in range. Kind of unique, but like you're not using this hero, guys, so let's just keep going. Rejuvenation, every 15 seconds the next healing applies a heal over time effect, which will heal the target by the amount of 22% of attack per second. She sucks.
Her attack's invisible. She's a rare. Use Camille. Moving on.
Camille's way better, though.
Yeah, I said use Camille instead.
Yeah. No, I'm just agreeing. So up now, unfortunately, no picture yet. So you can see now we're down to a 4 out of, I'll move Destined for 1 second, a 4 out of 10. We still have a lot of information. This chick, so this is who Panther's been calling Dagger Girl. She's a Piercer Lord. I think a lot of us are like clamoring for a second Piercer Lord on top of Lunaria. without a doubt, it is coming. You know, you'd think in the next 6 months or something, hopefully sooner.
Yep.
Anything you want to add about this? She's been out there for a minute, huh?
Yeah, so she does normal damage, or piercing damage, sorry. So
yeah,
she
that's
will
cool.
just inherently be better than Lunaria purely just for that. And for what I know about her, she's probably the most exciting rare we have coming. And I'm really excited because she seems like she'll do good damage.
Epic.
She has a lot of utility. And also,
wait,
Lunaria is the most important epic lord right now. So
yeah, but she's an epic. You said rare. She's an epic. I want people to know that.
Epic lord, my bad.
Lunaria's not like that bad, but it's like she's just out of place. She's dealing magic damage. The other people that deal magic damage are like legendaries like Hex and Micah, and it's like a lot of damage. Lunaria, it's not a lot of damage. At A5, she has Immobilize, which is cool, but basically you're bringing her for anti-air stuff, and you want piercing damage. And all those aerial units have light armor. Piercing damage is king, and Lunaria doesn't have it. At least she has it. So for almost every piece of content, she's just better.
And I have one more thing to add before we get into the kits, and that's every single epic lord we've had that comes out has always had a shard event immediately. So Rourke and Abizu so far.
She'll be free to play.
When she comes out, she will essentially be the most game-changing like fragment event ever for newer accounts. Because Lunaria already is like the most important one, and having something that substitutes her, because a lot of people don't have Lunaria, is going to be game changing.
I will say, when Lunaria happened, it was for people around, I think it was like October, maybe September. That was wild. But yes, this will be like that 2.0. It'll be awesome. Very quickly, attack. It's not as low as you think. This is kind of what epic single targets have. 30-28's fine. I think Idril's right around there as well. Maybe she's 32. I don't know. Basically the same. 2.0 is completely standard. Everything else looking normal. 14 rage regen auto. The interesting thing here, you can see she's 11 cost. Yes, we've got the recovery time, the redeployment. Her base talent is just minus 20 seconds. So typically people would be 60. She's just going to be 40. That's kind of cool. Faction skill identical to Lunaria. There's literally no difference. This is what's become the theme with all the epic lords when we get a new one. So basically, you have the first line, 10%. That's true of all epic lords, and then just expands the attack range. That's true of all the Piercer epic lords now.
And also, there's invisibility in her kit. You can see other capabilities, which is very exciting.
Ooh, spicy. So piercing, invisibility, and insta burst. She's a very cool hero, guys. I actually did a reaction to one of your videos, Destined, and I did talk about her before. She's very cool. Deals 110% damage to one enemy. She prioritizes airbornes. This is, again, very typical. Interesting that's 110. You know, you would think it would be 120, but maybe she's getting more of an epic treatment. This must be her ultimate here. Yes, you can see it here. Moon Shadow, when deployed, gains invisibility. Cool. Increases attack by 60%. This can only be triggered one time each deployment. But remember, you can cycle her in and out. She's kind of, they're thinking right side as they design her. And what a free-to-play option to do it, huh?
You don't even need to run Volca to cycle on the right now because she has respawn time, which is great.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, awesome. And definitely worth mentioning, like, we'll have to see her multipliers. At worst, she's as good as Alora, I would guess.
Oh yeah, Alora is so unbelievably garbage.
Without A1 Alora, her multipliers just don't exist, and you can already see she has fine base attack, she's got fine skills, the invisibility, she's just... the increased attack by 60% post-deployment. There's no... I think she will be definitively better than Alora.
I agree.
But at worst, she's as good.
At worst, she's a Lunaria replacement that's probably better for most content than Lunaria.
Yeah.
Which is already amazing.
Yeah, like if you're using Lunaria, right? Like, Lunaria is basically only tickles in Furious Torrent. But like me, I have to use her. I don't have Araka, and I don't have... Look, I said Araka, not Aracha. Maybe I'm changing.
You did it!
And I don't have Yovar.
Oh my gosh, guys! He did it!
We did it! Sorry, Lunaria. Let's go to the Awakenings. Most people will get her A5 eventually, right? Most people are sitting on stones for heroes just like this, like I'm one of them. Or you'll just chip away over time. You'll get stones over time. Probably will be hard to pull. She's an epic lord. Yeah, maybe you'll pull a couple gobbies. A1, killing enemies, now turns basic attack to 3 consecutive strikes. If we actually go back very quickly, we didn't really touch on that last passive. Killing enemies turns basic attack into 2 consecutive strikes.
Yep.
So now
hard to
3.
activate, but very good when it's activated.
Exactly. And she's not fully cooked, right, guys? So we don't know how often you can trigger this, how long it lasts. But in theory, very cool. Plus 200 base attack, super typical for an epic for an A2. A3 increases damage to airborne units by 10% upon each deployment, stacking up to 3 times. So if you cycled her 3 times strategically, which you can do in Gear A3, by the last time when you really need her for that top right, She's definitely better than Alora.
100%. And it's a really,
Yeah, way
really
better.
cool ability. Like, I get so excited over cool, unique,
unique
mechanics. And so this makes me very happy that that's in the kit.
A4, totally normal, a bit unique. Not so many piercers have it, but like we've seen it with Lunaria, we've seen it with Idril, we've seen it with what's his name? Your favorite, Vargas. It's a cool thing.
I don't even have
A5.
Vargas.
A5, killing enemies during the ultimate extends the ultimate duration by 3 seconds, can be triggered up to 10 times. So if you can get her cooking, we'll see how strong we can really make her. Then she can really, as long as she has people in front of her, maybe now you're thinking the left side, not just right side in Gear Aid 3, right? Where you can see Furious Torrent, right?
Ooh, that'll be good for Furious Torrent, you're right.
Yeah, right?
So she kind of suffers Kriya treatment if she doesn't do good damage. We have to see when she comes out.
We'll have to see, yeah.
If she doesn't do good damage, she'll be like Kriya.
This is my gut, so this is how we'll end each one, like gut check. My gut check, worst case, she's better than Lunaria, and maybe who knows how good. Best case, she's legitimately great because she can put out proper damage. But even in that worst case, she's going to be a hard progression carry for all normal players, which is a win.
Absolutely, and she'll definitely be better for Guild Boss than Lunaria.
Yeah, it's Lunaria. I used Lunaria and Guild Boss for like 5 months of my life. Okay, so let's do the Red Dragon. Do you want to take the lead on this one? So we got another 4% cook. It's going to be a Nightmare Fighter. Let's start with the stats. What are we looking at here?
Yes, so the stats, the HP is, I think, a little low for fighters. I think this is supposed to be a rare, I want to say. That's what it was for me. I'm not entirely sure why it shows as if it was an epic. So that might be something a little wrong. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No,
I think he's a rare too, from what I understand.
Yeah,
so I think
we're in the
something
rare
was lost
section
in
of the
translation.
video where we're going to kind of fly through because they're not that crazy.
Well, that's actually not. Are we? No, Celestial Monarch's coming. We're because we go in order of how cooked they are.
Oh, yeah.
We can go really fast here. You want me to just take this so you can just add any color you want?
So basically, base stats low because it is a rare and rares are trash. And then the talent is dealing damage with basic attack has a 10% chance of inflicting bleed on the target. So essentially, this is just a, hey, if you need bleed, you just started the game. Here's an option, but he's probably trash. So
the key thing you said, and I think we can already move on, if you just started the game, because Komodo is fusible.
Yes, and better.
Komodo's an epic. Komodo's way better than this. Oh my god, these stats are a joke. 11, he's definitely real. I'll update this. Me and Destin are looking at this epic thing right now. I will have updated so you guys are looking at it with rare imagery. 11.5k HP, gross, 1636 defense. Not terrible, but gross.
For a fighter, it's terrible.
But the attack 2647. Like, are you joking? Like, this is the basic attack's all right, but this is terrible. This is terrible hero.
I will say Frenzy Slash manual turns into 4 consecutive strikes. Not terrible for bleed chance and also sticks early on, but you literally have to just have started the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but 10% chance of inflicting bleed. I mean, this is like your first 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how you're progressing.
It's like a multi-target and a bleed. Who cares?
Yeah. All right, another thing, we don't have images for these guys, so that's why we're seeing the same background here. This is another rare. We're calling it Scottish Burn Narvi.
That's
so
so
funny.
funny.
With Navi. This is another Panther name, Panther joke. Very good. Base stats are way better now than the previous one. 16,600, 3,700 attack. They're not good, but they're not bad at all. 1299 on the defense. Everything pretty typical. You can see the Rage Regenatus 13, whatever. Basically, it's going to be your chance to get some easy burns. So this is like a very early game Arbiter of Frost kind of option. 20% chance to inflict the burn. This is all right. This is kind of rare that to me, it's like, it's not special, but like, it's kind of a welcome addition because it can help people very early, and that's the purpose. 100%
like more
chance
damage to burning, and then also it puts out burning on an enemy on the ultimate. Sorry to kind of jump past you there, but it really is just she burns and she does more burn damage.
She burns. She can do burns on the basis from the talent. She can guarantee the burns on the ult. Fair enough. All right, let's do Celestial Martyr. I say I take the reins. You interrupt me whenever you want. People want the full crazy deep dive that is on your channel. This is what people need to know. You ready, Cam?
Yep. Go for it.
All right. Her stats are stupid. 12,000 HP is ridiculous for a mage. 6,100 is the highest in the game by 900. It's ridiculous. Technical, very unique. This is more typical of a healer. You don't really see mages with 3.0. Her magic res is through the roof. Her defense is okay. It's fine. She's got the high end for the Rage Regen Auto at 14. Solid rage based on attack at 10, so it's going to scale well. She's very expensive at 25, but as you just saw, her stats are absolutely stupid, and the kit's even stupider. Anything you want to add?
The rage cap is very low. That's, I think, before the skill ups too, so it'll go to 600.
Say, her ult is dirt cheap, and as you're going to see from her kit, she usually can insta-ult whenever you need it anyway.
Oh yeah, she like, you'll see it, It's so funny.
So, firing along the talent. When deployed, she starts off in solar mode. Basically, she has two modes, solar and stellar. Solar is like AoE mode. Stellar is single target mode. So when she's in solar mode, every 4 basic attacks, the next basic attack is solar flare. What is solar flare? 320% AoE magic damage, up to 15 enemies. What the absolute heck? In a wide area in front. That's a good time to talk about her range down here. Almost certainly, don't you think, Destin, this will go to 6 tiles, just like Dahlia with full promotions?
Yeah. So. I think we're not at the stage in the leaks where it's already shown as bigger, so I think it will be 6.
Yeah, she's 3 out of 10 cooked right now. We do know a lot, and she looks so cool. Excuse me, 320, wider range. Does this mean just straight line, or does it have a little width to it more than just the straight line? Because that would just make her even more bonkers than we already think. But 320% AoE every 4 hits to 15 enemies. What's even going on? And that's without getting into the rest of the stupid kit. This might be the best here in the game, guys. Definitely check out the full video on cams. Stellar mode, 4 basic attacks. Now turn the next one to a Star Shower. What the heck's a Star Shower? Oh, it's just a 9-hitter. 50% damage per hit.
So 450% damage overall, essentially.
Yeah. So in single target mode, she's a killer. In AoE mode, she's a killer. Let's do the faction skill. You want to read this real quick?
Basically, it's like Elias. She gets 50% basic attributes to all faction allies, and periodically increases damage and healing effect by 30% for 20 seconds. More faction allies, more frequently it takes effect. But the coolest part about her specific Lord skill is after she deals direct damage to an enemy, faction team members deal 25% damage to that enemy within 3 seconds. Which is crazy.
So we obviously haven't tested her. She's only 3 out of 10 cooked. But our best guess, I think we agree, is probably when she deals some direct damage, every ally's coming in with some kind of like an ally attack. Yes, it's only 25% extra damage, but every 3 seconds that's happening. Crazy.
And
right?
a full team, that's 100% extra damage.
That's true. Yeah, 4 allies, right? That is ridiculous. Now onto her basic. Her basic's amazing too. So when she's in solar mode, AoE mode, 120% AoE damage, up to 8 enemies. Nothing special, but they tell us explicitly it's strong. Her stats are crazy. Single target mode, 60% 2 times. So yeah, it's worse, but you'll see as a single target unit, she's as broken as she is as an AoE. Don't you agree? As a single target, she's truly and utterly stupid.
She'll be easily like a top 3, top 5 unit on both of the types, but she's both in one. Like, it's so dumb. And also, every 4 attacks of each, it's going to be a stronger version of it on that attack.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say solar mode, my quick take, solar mode, she's like at worst a top 5 AoE mage. Stellar mode, she's at worst the 2nd best single target unit in the game. It's either her or Praetus.
I agree. I would say she's even better AoE, but that's something that tells when she comes out.
Yeah. Oh my god. So now Cosmic Shift, this is what makes her spicy. I'll tell you right now, we talked about it towards the end of your video. I'm thinking she might have some kind of animation or visual change as she switches between these 2 modes, like a sun style and a moon style. What do you think about that?
I think you're probably right. I think that's the theming they're going for, definitely. Especially in the picture, you can see that she is part moon, part sun. Yeah. So definitely will be worked into the kit.
Really cool. So when she switches from solar mode to stellar mode, she's going to increase her attack control by 25% for 15 seconds. So now you've switched from AoE to single target. So now she's going even faster. So it's even better than this 3.0 base. 25% less is going to be 2.25 base attack control, right? When she's stellar mode and you trigger the ult, she's now going to switch to solar mode. So from single target to AoE, the opposite. And this is going to increase her attack by 30% for 15 seconds. That's post-deployment.
Yes.
So you're talking, I think we were saying maybe conservatively with a half-decent build, you get her like 20k attack. Probably a lot of people will get her more with crazy
closer
gear.
to 24k and a good build,
So if it's 24k, you're talking about 7,200 extra attack. If it's 20k, you're talking about 6,000 extra attack. I mean, this stuff is stupid.
It's ridiculous.
You might be thinking, you guys said she's so good. You guys said she's so good when she's in the single target mode, maybe even better than AoE, but the attack boost comes when you switch into AoE. Well, what if we told you could do both? So
what if you could stack them?
What do you just stack them and you can have everything whenever you want? Always. Empyrean Tempest, triggering 1 solar flare. So that's what happens every 4 basic attacks in solar mode. You're going to get 1 solar energy point, and that triggers, and then you also get the Star Shower trigger, as we saw from the talent. And then when you do it in the other mode, the stellar mode, you're going to get 1 stellar energy point, right? So you can grow these energy points and max out at 5. Think of them as stacks. For every solar energy point, you get an increase in AoE damage 25%. It makes sense. She's in AoE mode. And then for every stellar energy point, you get a 5% stack increase in single target damage. It makes sense. She's in single target mode. So 25. Up to 25 total, right? So when you switch modes, all energy, you lose the energy points, but it builds up into rage, and each point is worth 20%. So whenever you ult, you lose your points, but instantly you're ready to ult again.
Yep.
That's the key thing.
So hypothetically, let's say you were in the single target mode, stellar mode.
Yeah.
Let's say you wanted to swap for some reason. Instead, you're sacrificing 25% damage, which you will build up again shortly. And you could swap. You could swap back again, and then you have 25% reduced attack interval and 30% increased attack.
Yep, you get both. You can insta swap back. So if you wanted to stay that, just wait 15 seconds and just get it going. You can keep refreshing. So perma 30% attack post deployment and perma reduction in attack interval.
Yep.
And then as you can see, Solar Flare deals extra damage one time to enemies equal to 20% of the current HP. So that's fun. Doesn't count boss and elites. And then Star Shower. This is her passive Celestial Wrath. This has a 25% chance, so this is the single target one, of also doing burning, so a great dot, and Radiant Erosion. So crazy Arbiter synergy, true damage. It's all nuts. You can basically just control, like Destined, do you want to bring Celestial Martyr into, let's say, I don't know, Gear Raid 1? You want to do some AoE? Well, just wait, get your 5 stacks, and whenever you're ready, do a quick swap, ult, double ult, you get all the stacks you need. She just cooks even harder.
Yep.
Oh, but wait, you're in Guild Boss 2, you want both. Don't worry, you do that. Oh, and then Guild Boss 2, the second arm, you want to switch for a second so you can get that true damage when you need it. Don't worry. You can just completely juggle whatever you need whenever you need.
And to kind of skip ahead a little bit, to kind of go into the Awakenings, speaking about Guild Boss 2, she has like some of the best Awakenings in the game. It's so
even at
funny.
A1. So let's just, how about I say them in order and then you can just react to all of them. How about that?
Okay.
So A1, you guys thought you wanted Lucius just now whenever she does Solar Flare. So you do have to make sure for Guild Boss 2 that you go to the AoE mode briefly. But so when you're on that second arm, just make sure you're there. And every single Solar Flare is a guaranteed Dispel.
Yep.
And it's basically 20% penetration. She's ignoring 20% magic res. She does magic damage. It's ridiculous. A2 plus 300 attack to her already highest in the game by a mile, 900 more than Praetus, nearly. Then increases faction team members by 5%. She counts as a faction team member. We are talking astronomical, like 6,700 attack when she's A2 and deployed. A3 in stellar mode deals 35% extra damage to targets inflicted with Radiant Erosion.
And she's inflicting it almost all the time in stellar mode, which is so funny. And
occasionally when you're unlucky and she doesn't do it, you'll run her with some other Arbiter, you're fine. Yep. A4, just another 8% pen. So now, whenever she's in her Solar Flares, for example, when she's doing her AoE, she's already ignoring 28% of the magic resistances. And finally, the A5 is all yours, and you can give your final thoughts on this wackiness.
A5, before I read it, I have to preface this by saying it might be the best A5 in the game, is how it reads, or at least it's close.
I think it is.
Basically, when you cast the ultimate 2 times consecutively, and the way it works is that's what you're going to be doing all the time. Within 10, if you use them both within 10 seconds, will have the number of basic attack required by the talent to trigger Solar Flare and Star Shower for 15 seconds. So you're going to be able to, every 2 attacks, do those crazy souped up, ridiculous damage. Every 2 attacks, you're going to be doing that. So every 2 attacks in Star Shower mode or Stellar mode, you're going to be doing 11 attacks in your 2 attacks. In Solar Flare, you're going to be doing probably the best AoE attack in the game every 2 hits, as well as your normal hits. And it's crazy. And you're also compounding those buffs from swapping earlier. And it's just the damage goes crazy.
Yeah, just to really spell it out, I think you said 11, but it's 9, but who's counting? It doesn't matter. By the time you've got an A5 Celestial Martyr, we're calling her Debbie, by the way. When you've got an A5 Debbie, nothing matters anymore, You don't
it's
feel
two
anything.
attacks to click it or to make it activate, so then it's 11.
Oh,
total
that's
is
what you
I
were
was
saying.
thinking,
Got it.
yeah.
I understand. Yeah. So basically it's 10 because the second one will be replaced. But the way you can think about it, so when she's in that Starshower mode, to spell it out, you're doing one attack, which by the way, she's A5. So she already is getting the benefit of all the other crazy stuff, the increased attack and everything. So you're doing 450% damage. Of the first hit, you are doing, oh my god, we gotta go back here. You're doing double hitters, 60% damage. So yeah, actually you're right. So you're counting as 11, if that's how you meant it.
Yeah.
Because it's a double hitter, so going crazy for sticks. So that's 120% damage. The next one's gonna be 450. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. All you gotta do to keep this going is make sure you're ulting within 10 seconds. Most people will be ulting within 0.5 seconds twice, because you'll just do a double click quick swap.
All the time.
Solar mode, if you have her A5, believe it or not, that means you have her A1 and you have her A3 and you have her A4 and all these crazy things. You have all the previous ones, which means she's doing that crazy AoE, which, like you said, is definitively, I think, the best AoE move in the game.
Yeah.
TBD if she can hit aerials, but assuming she can, it's at full stop, end of sentence, the best. You are doing a normal AoE, which is amazing, up to 8 enemies, 120, and then the next one, you are talking 320% AoE to up to 15 enemies, and you're ignoring 28% of magic res. It is unbeaten, and with by far the best space you have in the game.
And she also, in Solar Flare, does 20% of their current HP damage. Remember? On one of her
true.
other
Oh my god, yes. From
Celestial
Celestial.
Wrath.
I can't even remember. It's all a blur. So yeah, Solar Flare deals an extra damage equals 20%. So as long as you're not dealing with the bosses, at least, you won't even see the enemies with their A5.
They'll just be boom, done. Like a nuke on the enemies, and they won't even exist.
All right, I think we can put a bow on it there, unless you have anything else. Go check out your video, Dustin. People should go check that. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, so that's where we got Fastidious' first impressions. Let's just say it was pretty funny. It was
I went through
amazing.
like every emotion. I was like elated, I was disappointed, I was angry, I was joyous. It's too much.
You accepted it at the end. It was amazing. So highly recommend checking that out. We go really deep into it.
So we've got another rare bleeder. We had that red dragon one before, and now the red dragon was over here. We got the red dragon one from before, and now we got another one. Tell me how this one's different and relevant, and I should care at all.
Okay, so the other one's more multi-attack or whatever for a rare that also does bleed. This is more just only does bleed, and its ultimate is actually really cool. So I think.
Oh wow, yeah, wow. Okay, so the ultimate Haymaker, it's an auto. Deals 400% AoE damage up to 10 nearby enemies and inflicts bleed, a guaranteed bleed on up to 10 nearby enemies. Quite cheap, so a good auto candidate with max range of 500. You're right, this one's much more exciting.
And also 2 range. So for a rare, this is actually a good fighter.
Do you know, and he's not cooked enough for all, imagine if that range widens at all, like a Magda kind of thing. I know now I'm dreaming, but you could put him behind the wall, right? And with all that bleed, maybe, especially for earlier style Grade 1, just for progression, that could be huge. Or like Conqueror behind the wall just to help people out, that could be really cool.
And if they ever release, because remember these are in the future and more heroes might come out, if they release more rare synergic AoE type units, then this will be a really good pairing.
Well, what did he say? A rare synergy? What did he say?
Like has a lot of synergy with other kind of lead heroes. So like if they do more damage to things with bleed, then this guy will be afflicting it a bunch.
Yeah. So if there's more people that have passives that are like, oh, and we do special to bleed people under bleed. Yeah, I totally see that. Even with an Ardia, right? Maybe you could get that working. That could be cool. This is the best rare we've seen today, don't you think?
100%. Like the stats are pretty solid for a rare.
Yeah, they are
The
solid.
rage is pretty low. Like double range is insane for a rare. I don't know of many rares, if any, that have 2 range.
There's one, and I'm blanking on his name. There's literally just
isn't there
one.
a Pikeman or whatever his name is?
Yeah, he's dressed up as like a knight. That's the only one I can think of. Maybe the name will come to me, maybe it won't.
I know which one you're talking about, but I don't know what his name is. It doesn't matter.
This is really cool, and it seems very. If there's need for getting bleed on a lot of heroes, this is a great way to do it. I like this a lot.
Yep.
This one I think we can go super duper fast. I don't think this hero exists. So having chatted with you guys, this is we're giving it a 2 out of 10. This is like a nothing kit, no picture, no nothing. I just want to include it at the end. We think this might have been Voroth at some point. Maybe somehow could have been Rourke. I mean, there's nothing going on here. It's like some super basic, does attacks, has one range, is a fighter, is an epic. Anything you want to add?
It looks like this is essentially a scrapped rework type thing for like a hero. So
yeah.
Basically he attacks surrounding enemies in his ult, does damage, fast attacks, consecutive hits. That's it. It says Chieftain of the Ice Tribe.
And wait, I also want to say the reason we're so dismissive, this has been here forever, right? Hasn't been in the files forever. So like there's no reason, it's probably something they like started working on and they copied the file and started building someone else, or they scrapped it and didn't get rid of it, right? That's how it feels.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. All right, we're on to our very last, and this is going to be the Pikeman. You want to take the Pikeman? Should we finish
let's finish off with the Pikeman. So, Epic Watcher. We need more Watchers. So, it's going to be Ain, but better probably as a unit. Ain is so trash. Anyways.
Yes.
His stats are really good, I will say.
Excellent.
Like 20k HP on a fighter is pretty solid for an epic. The attack is probably the highest epic fighter attack in the game.
The third, I think. I think Estrid's like 52 and Voroth's 51, but this is crazy high.
That is very high. Oh yeah, Voroth has like ridiculously high, and he just like doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the range is pretty normal. The auto rage and the attacking rage is very high, as well as the hit rage. So he's getting rage very, very fast. Attack interval is normal at 2.6. Defense is pretty standard, I think. Magic resistance is abysmal. And
yes, oh my god, yes.
18 cost.
Which is pretty high for an epic. You don't always see that. If we look at the talent now, when deployed, instantly performs a triple strike on one enemy. I mean, that's pretty cool. Each hit deals 60% damage. After that, the effect triggers one time every 4 basics. So like a very budget kind of sticks option, potentially.
For sure. Or like some sort of damage on a single unit. It's definitely interesting because that reminds me of Ares. We don't have a lot of units that when you place them, they do something immediately.
Yeah.
Like Boreas and Ares are the only ones that come to mind right now.
Yeah. Damon does something like that too, but yeah, it's rare. If we look at the basic now, just a normal 110% physical damage, we're fine with it. Manual's really cool. The ultimate here, Moments of Courage, attacks one enemy with the highest HP and range continuously, so you're thinking bosses, right? Dealing 40% damage, not so much, every time for 0.25 seconds. We don't know the duration on this, right? But if this is long, right? Imagine this was even, imagine just 20 seconds, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's 80 hits in the duration of that ult. That's something.
Crazy.
Yeah, so then it's like maybe not just a budget 6 thing, maybe like an actual option for real players, right?
Yeah, like outside of maybe Helga and the character we just talked about, the Lord, I think that would be like one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he's way up there of like these like lesser baked non-legendaries we've gone over today. He's an attractive option. I'm excited to learn more. And this pass is really cool and makes you think bosses, right? When there's only one enemy in range, so when you can really control it, again, you're thinking something like Styx or something where you can square someone up, even like a Guild Boss 1, right? Or a Guild Boss 2, who knows? When there's only one enemy in range, just straight up damage increased by 40%. So in a lot of boss content, you can completely control that. He'll benefit from this passive the whole fight.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah. So let's very quickly power through the Awakenings, then I'd love your final thoughts. So Awaken 1, Talent has a 20% chance to be triggered 2 times, right? So to remind you guys, that's a triple strike after the initial launch. It's every 4 basic attacks. So every 4 basic attacks, sometimes it will not just be a triple hitter, it could be a sextuple hitter. That's pretty fun.
Which is really
A2,
cool.
we got plus 5% crit rate. Easy to get a hero A2, so why not just make them easier to build? But they only need 95% crit to get capped. Reduces attack interval for Moments of Courage by 20%.
That's crazy.
So
now,
it's
like 100 hits.
So it's every 0.2 seconds. Yeah, so if let's say it was 20 seconds, 100 hits. It was 15 seconds, 75 hits. Like that's a lot of hits.
So definitely a Styx option or a boss
option. Yeah. Well, how high level a stick option, TBD, but definitely a Styx option. A4, 5% pen, very typical for an epic. We see the 8% only for legendaries. And then A5 increases attack speed by 10 when dealing damage to the same target with each consecutive hit up to 10 times. However, the effect disappears if you switch targets. Again, amazing, because if you can control that, just like one-on-one, just one boss to hit, you'll have this the whole time. So just after your first 10 hits, you were talking 100% attack speed boost for the rest of the fight.
Yes, absolutely. And he'll be a good DPS. And that's really interesting because he's a Watcher. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of really bad Watcher DPS. So now we have more DPS options coming.
Yeah, and, you know, here's an epic option to slide onto a Celestial Modder team, a Debbie team, if you want to rock her as a Watcher Lord and not on an Arbiter team. That's really cool. I would say very quick review, and then we'll wrap this up. This is a very long video, but it happened. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Sanja, I would say great, potentially amazing. We'll have to see. Khari, bleh. Pierce Epic Lord, can't wait. I want to learn more.
Absolutely.
Red Dragon,
Who cares?
Yuck. Who cares? Celestial Modder, let's mop our brain matter up from the floor. Came out my ears. Rare Bleeder, kind of cool, and like definitely could grow with the game. Chieftan, I don't even think is real. Pikeman,
Pikeman is very good for an epic.
very cool.
And yeah.
And
Thank
you
has
so
Burn
much.
Navi, but she's Scottish, so
Scottish Burn Nerdy. I didn't even think of this.
I don't know. We don't know how Pantra's brain works. It's an anomaly.
we'll never know. Cam, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for like leading the charge for this whole leaker layer thing you have established. All the links to that will be in the description of this video. Guys, my apologies. I know this turned into a long video, but I think we actually covered things quite thoroughly, so I hope you enjoy it. You guys can let us know in the comments what you think. Absolutely do not be a fool. Go subscribe to Destined. The boy's on fire lately. Anything you want to add?
Mooncon, get me a damn test server, please. And also go check out the video for the one that we did for my channel.
If you make it to the end of this video, please comment MPGDATS. All right? Thank you very much. That seems from Moonton. Please give Destin a test server.
And also comment Fastidious, you have a great haircut. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll be dyeing it on stream later today, but this video will come out days after that. Thank you so much, Cam. It means a lot. Go check them out, guys. Share it with your mother, and we'll see you real soon.
Fastidious.